Richard Patch, co-founder of the Manufacturers Hub. Great to have you here. What makes a great salesperson?
I mean, I think it's got to be friendly. You've got to make sure that I think personally, I think don't go straight in with a hard sell. I think just go in, be friendly, kind of say what you do. For me, I'm not necessarily sales or marketing, never have been. I've kind of learned this through doing the hub, but you learn tips and tricks of the way of going through it all. But yes, don't push them with a hard sell. Be friendly. Just get on with people. It's not about throwing stuff down their throat. It's just about making the right connections and just making them aware of who you are and what you do.
Do you see, especially in engineering, manufacturing, do you see salespeople that you think make any significant mistakes or do things wrong that don't work in the industry?
Well, yeah. Well, like we said, was just before we kind of come to record on this, is a case of do things wrong. I think going straight in with a hard sell, I think that's sometimes can be wrong. Yes, it works for some people. It might be 1% of your network or stuff like that, but don't go in with a hard sell. That's one kind of thing wrong, or mistakes. If you're looking to try and get more work as well, is chase up old leads. So I've been telling people yesterday at the show is that when you're reaching out to people and you're talking to people and you think, oh, it's just dead. Like I message them and I get nothing back. Or, I mean, these people you're messaging or emailing, they might have had a busy day. They might have had like something else on their mind, or at that point they might not necessarily been in the right frame of mind or something. But reach out to them again and say, look, did you see my last message? Just reaching out. I mean, you don't have to push a hard sell, but just say, look, did you see my last message? And say, this is what I do. How can I help? And then I know businesses that have purely gone into like new jobs, chasing old leads, and they've created these multi-million-pound like streams of work from chasing old leads just alone.
Yeah, it always surprised me when I speak to sales managers or owners of companies and they tell me about their salespeople, and sometimes they do complain. Like they say, I know this guy, he's got a drawer full of old contacts. He's never been through them. He's never called any of them back. Haven't spoken to all of our accounts. And like you said, they're just sitting on a goldmine of opportunities there. And then they're either not doing any prospecting or they're just trying to do cold prospecting. It's much harder, much easier to just go back through your old leads, especially in something like engineering and manufacturing where the sales cycles are quite long. I think it pays to be more patient, just get to know people, build up that trust, and the opportunity might come in like 6 months, might come in a year. Some sectors, it's going to be 2 years or 3 years if they're selling like big bits of equipment. So I think being patient is really, really important. Do you think there are any things that salespeople should know, especially in like technical industries like manufacturing, engineering, that maybe they should know, or any things that they don't appreciate that they really should?
I think they should appreciate. I mean, like we were saying before, is everyone's busy. Everyone's might not necessarily be in the right frame of mind. So kind of go in there, obviously steadily, show who you are, what you do. Don't try and I think put people off your competitors as well. Don't go in there kind of ripping off your competitors. Go in there just like, your product is good, but why is it good? Don't start slating everyone else's products. You just sell your own product. Like it's good for a reason. And that's what you should do. I think straight away, if you're throwing away, oh, that's crap, that one over there, don't use that. Is I think it puts people off you as well. It's the case, oh, you're just trying to hard sell me something. I'm not after that. Just, why is my product better than yours? Or why is my product, not say better, but alternative? What's the reasons for it?
Yeah, it usually comes back to hit you in the face, doesn't it? And it makes you look weird when you're slagging off the competition. So I think that's important not to do that. Have you experienced any great salespeople or seen any examples of really good salesmanship in action?
I think for me personally, like I said, I've known some sales more recently from the hub is people that have learned, that they've taught me lessons. It's taught me lessons of, one, going after old leads, like we already said before, 100% well worth it. I've done that and it's worked. People go sometimes message 3 or 4 times. They give it like a few weeks or a month, but 3 or 4 times, and they often get something back. So that's definitely one kind of tips and tricks I've learned. But you learn everything like every day. I learn something new every day. I talk to different salespeople, I have different techniques. It's talk to people and work out what they do. I mean, what you do may not work for some, but what someone else does may work for someone else. So learn from other salespeople, learn from your friends or things like that, and see which ways work for certain people. But get your name out there. I mean, like I said, I do a lot of LinkedIn. I say stalk LinkedIn really of who I talk to, and getting out there and being seen and put myself in front of everyone. So yeah, try and do that as well.
That's a good point. I remember hearing someone say, people can't do business with you if they don't know who you are. So the first goal for a lot of salespeople is just to get known in their industry. And like you said, that might just be speaking to a lot of people, going to these exhibitions, the committees, the associations, just getting to know as many people as possible, and doing the same on LinkedIn. Some people, I think, don't like LinkedIn, or they're wary about posting on LinkedIn. But the number of times I've had people get in touch with me and say, I've been following you on LinkedIn for 6 months, a year, 2 years. They've never liked anything. They've never commented on anything, but the number of people that see your posts. So I guess I'd just echo what you're saying about all these manufacturing and engineering companies that are out there. You know, posting on LinkedIn is such a valuable thing. Even if you don't think you're getting anything at the time, people are seeing it.
Yeah, you get something back 100%. I mean, you might not get something back yet within a week or 2 weeks or 6 weeks or a year, but they've seen it. Like, they will think, and actually, Tom messaged me about this, or Tom put a post about this. Like, I remember that, and they come back to you. I know people that have done that after 6 months. They've come back and said, right, you messaged me this time. I now want to kind of reach out to you again. But yeah, like for me, I'm everywhere. I would like and comment on near enough everyone's post because of you're seeing everything. So it's like, what does he do? And they click on my profile and they see the hub, or they see something. But my business is more online, so I have to be out there. So, but it's putting yourself in front of people, and they always click. What does this guy do? I see him everywhere.
Yeah, it's good to be known. There's a great book about that by a guy called Mark Schaefer. He said, you know, half the battle's just to be known in your industry. If you can get known, opportunities find you. It was really worth a read. So could you give your manufacturer's hub a bit of a plug? What should people know about it? And if they want to find out more about it, how should they get in touch with you?
Yes, of course. So the hub, so the hub is a place for, say, UK manufacturing kind of to unite and connect, really. So with us is we wanted to build this platform where so manufacturer, suppliers and service providers can find each other and connect. The struggle of obviously finding each other online, the cost of kind of pay-per-click advertising, and the money you got to spend on your websites and SEO. It's a lot of money for businesses, especially kind of small SME businesses. So when you're talking, there's thousands of businesses kind of in each sector as well, and they're all competing for the same spot on Google as well. I mean, precision engineering, just say there's 2,500 companies in the UK, and then Google's got 10 spots. So 4 of them are paid. So how do 2,500 businesses get seen in those spots? So it's like, how can we make this better? But it's kind of a passion, really, of trying to get these businesses seen and kind of get them work and make it as easy as possible. So that's the hub, really. It's about having all the UK manufacturing businesses and the providers to the sector in one place, all seen. We help them kind of connect online as well through kind of group chats and stuff on our website. So these are all the decision makers. And then obviously we try and then promote them out as well on our LinkedIn page. So you may have seen our LinkedIn page as well, which we're growing well. I mean, in 2 years, with less than 2 years, we've got nearly 14,000 followers on there. So it's quite a lot of people we're promoting. Obviously, these smaller businesses too. So yeah, it's a passion. It is a passion. It's good, and it's certainly growing fast. We've got almost 600 members in those 2 years. And then I say, if it went well at the NEC as well this week, then maybe another 100, 150. So it's going well. I mean, it's got scale. I mean, when you look at the industry, you're talking suppliers, manufacturers, and service providers. Maybe 500,000 businesses that can be there. So if we can take a chunk of that and get them on the hub, it's a lot of businesses that can connect and communicate with each other through our online kind of portal.
Nice. And like, what do you enjoy about it?
It's about having these businesses being able to connect and be able to get the work and get seen. That's what I like. Every time a business comes back and says, I've just found work through the hub, or I've just got a lead through the hub, it's a case of, look, this is working. This is how we built it in the first place. What it was for. The ease of being able to connect with someone. It's a case of, right, you can message each other through the hub, or you can say, look, I'm a member of the hub as well, being part of this community, and reach out to these businesses. So I just wanted to make it as easy as possible for each business to connect. So it's a passion to know that a lot of these businesses that are on there are trying to grow And that's what I like, is businesses that want to invest, they want to spend time and try and get seen and grow.
And how did you get into the kind of manufacturing engineering sector?
So I'm already in manufacturing myself. I mean, my day job is I'm in manufacturing. I build robotic systems for the car industry, and that's what I do with my day job. I mean, Manufacturers Hub is, I'd say, a part-time job, but it's not a part-time job. It's full-time in the evenings. Uh, but I'm in the sector. I did apprenticeship. I was in precision engineering, doing aerospace, and then moved into automotive, and the machine building of automotive. And so that's the sector I'm in, really. But it was a case of trying to get that business. I'm not saying I'm necessarily greedy, but it was a case of I wanted to get that business I'm working for more work. So then I started doing all the online outreach for them, just out of, I mean, I'm not sales or marketing or anything like that. It's a case of how can I get them more work? How can I do the outreach? So I kind of like, I joke around with people sometimes and say, like, I'm a LinkedIn stalker. Right, I go and I'll message everyone on LinkedIn. Right, this is who I am. This is what I do. If it don't work, I try a different way. I try a different person. So I was building all my connections up, and then obviously the daytime job, I was building their databases up of, right, like a CRM. They'd never have a CRM, never done sales, never done marketing. So I built my database of customers, built my database of suppliers. Right, how can they get new customers? And then it was like, right, actually, right, the parts they're getting in, or the parts they need, can they get them any cheaper? Can they get any better parts? So I've obviously built this supplier database. And then one day I was just like, I said to obviously Kevin, the business partner of the hub, and it's like, what if we put these two databases together? Not saying they're databases, but basically a customer and a supplier kind of database for everyone to use. Everyone can find their customers, everyone can find their suppliers. And then that's obviously the idea of the hub came about.
Cool. That is super cool. So what are the ideal kind of businesses? Like if they see this video when I've put it together, done the editing, etc., what are the like perfect kind of businesses that you think should join, that would get the most value from it, or that you want to hear from?
So ideally, I mean, we need everyone. Yes, we want everyone on it. I mean, small businesses, it probably works out better to them because they don't necessarily have the budgets to be spending on their websites or online marketing. So possibly obviously small businesses. I mean, 90% of the UK's manufacturing companies are small businesses. So small businesses, yes. But we've got, I mean, from the industry I know is we've got a lot of the big kind of prime, massive manufacturing companies. You're talking your I'm not going to say all their names, but the big aerospace and the big automotive companies that they reach out, they use the hub. We've got like a free online database you can use directory to find businesses to work with. And especially with like a lot of the small aerospace or the automotive manufacturers, we've got their accreditations, we've got their certificates for their accreditations. Use it to find the people you're looking to work with. Like it's completely free, that section. Like the business is on there, yes, they pay a small subscription to be part of it, but you can find them easily. You can see we're vetted and we've got their certificates. So yes, small businesses to join it, but I want more of the larger kind of prime manufacturers to use the hub to be able to find these small businesses, and that's how they're going to get the work and be seen within the UK. So I'm passionate about reshoring work and getting the businesses in the UK to have that work as well. So the hub, like I said before, is it's a UK manufacturing network kind of platform. Manufacturer suppliers and service providers. Everyone wants to know, or ideally everyone needs to know who they need to connect with, whether you're a niche business or not. I mean, there's everyone has a really good business in the UK, and we need to know who each other are. We need to. I believe that there's enough businesses in UK manufacturing that can suit your needs. You don't have to send everything abroad. So if we can find every single business in the UK and we can get them somewhere seen online, we can start using each other and helping each other and promoting each other. So please, I'm not saying everyone join the hub, but just make yourself known in the UK so someone else can work with you rather than like offshoring all of this work.
Yeah, definitely. Where should people find you? Where's the easiest place for them to get in touch with you or find the Manufacturers Hub?
So obviously other than LinkedIn, our website is manufacturershub.co.uk. You'll see obviously the hub there. You see us on Google on many kind of searches, but our presence mainly is obviously LinkedIn. That's our face. We're building ourselves on YouTube as well. But yeah, come take a look at the website. Take a look through the directory. Look for other businesses you can work with. But yeah, obviously we've got quite a big online presence. So yeah, come take a look.
Oh, nice one.